I guess the sun doesn't want to come out today. It's about 5 or something in the afternoon, and the sunny day streak the last 3 or 4 days has finally been killed by a rainstorm. So now we got rain and thunder and lightning coming out. So the sun is obscured and my light is still rather bleh. But this one I wanted to talk about is one I've been working on for a while, and it's probably still one I have some kinks to iron out. I don't know if you can iron out kinks, but you know what I mean. It's probably one I can better present my ideas of in maybe like a formal essay or something, which I'll probably end up doing if I can take it as seriously as I'd like to. Now, the thing I want to talk about is basically my comparison to religion in society, compared to morality in the human, condition. And like I only have like 9 or something minutes to do this, but so I'm gonna give the general points of what I'm getting to here. All right. Religion has always been something I've been kind of beating around in my head. I really don't know what to come to any conclusions with on it. Like people will ask me different things pertaining to it and how I take it personally, and I can never give them definite answers. I always have to give them very vague answers or ask them questions about exactly what they're looking for when they're asking me about my take on religion. Religion is still something I, for now and probably for quite a while, will just be a little on the fence about. And morality just kind of came into play as it came up in a conversation with my friend John, as how it pertains to people. Now, I'm going to give my morality bit first, and then I'm going to help explain the similarities between how it relates to my comparison of religion and society. Now, morality, I kind of feel like I'm going to speak very, very generally. Like, I don't want to say anything too specific because, again, this is where the kinks are coming into play. Educated people understand that morality, like right and wrong, good and bad, are things that are perspective-based. No one thing is ever wholeheartedly and cut and dry good and or bad. Everything is sort of blurry. Everything. Like, nothing is ever cut and dry. Ever. Like, the educated person will understand that. And so, when we're trying to work with arguments and facts and things, we have to just sort of try to clean up the blur as much as we can, understanding that it will never be completely clear. Now, with, like, good and bad, right and wrong, it's kind of like, this is kind of an interesting thing. This is how it came about, basically. It's like when you're raising kids. Like, first of all, I could make the jump. Like, my first part was, you talk about educated people. Usually you talk about adults. I understand that right and wrong, good and bad is all, based on who you are and what the situation is. And now, when you talk about when you're raising kids, or you're just educating uneducated people, you usually want to give them a basis of right and wrong or good and bad. Now, let's say if it was an educated person, which I'm sure there's plenty out there who have to raise their kids, and I'm sure there's plenty out there, how do they deliver the message of right and wrong when they themselves understand that, it isn't just cut and dry, but when you deliver it to kids, you have to give it to them in a cut and dry fashion. You have to tell them, this is wrong, you can't do this, and stuff like that. And it's hypocritical, but I believe it's necessary. When you consider developmental stages of, the human brain, when you talk about kids, they kind of need stuff to be given to them in black and white terms, for them to be able to grow with. And then once they grow up, as they're progressing and maturing, their, thoughts will eventually adhere to the fact that they were based in, black and white premises, but, reality is that that's not how it is. And hopefully they'll develop into understanding that, they were just raised that way because if they were given the blurry reality at, like, the age of 4 or something and taught not right and wrong as much as just perspective-based stuff, they were gonna get lost. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it with my little sister. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff across to her that I'm getting now, and truth be told, it's hopeless. And it's not her, and it's not me. I'm great at delivering certain messages, and she's a heck of a lot brighter than I was when I was her age. But it's just the developmental thing. She just can't get certain things now. So when it comes to kids, when you're raising them, I can understand, like, when you move from, the young to the old, or however it's going to work, you pass through time and you can take in more and perceive in different dimensions. You'll understand that nothing is black and white, but you have to start there first. Now, when you make the comparison of that to how religion is in society, I feel like, first and foremost, this is just me. Again, like, I have to say this every time just because I feel like I don't want anybody saying, like, well, he's wrong because of this. Well, this is just me. I'm not making any big claims about the world. I personally feel like the idea of religion and faith is outdated. Outdated in the sense that it seems like the kind of thing that we're holding on to because we're afraid to let go of the past as a society. Now this comes from the idea that I felt religion and all of that it includes was completely necessary during the early stages of human society. Things were unorganized, everybody was split, and people haven't met people, and communication between all these things. Everything was just really slow-paced and chaotic. Religion and faith gave that chaos a structure. Kind of like how you give a child a black and white term of right and wrong. Some of you may be able to see this coming now, what I'm getting to. At least with the comparison. And I kind of feel like the progress we've made as society no longer needs the structure that we were given back. Religion's been around forever, and I just don't think we need it anymore. I really don't think it's necessary. Now, to say that it's wholeheartedly not necessary would be wrong. I cut and dry believe that's wrong. I believe that things like faith and stuff like that are unavoidable. They're going to be there no matter what. So take it in moderation. That's what I'll say. That's kind of how I live with a lot of things, is if you can't live by black and white terms, live by moderation. Control what you get and what you give. Now, with religion and how you take it, like I said, it'll be there, so I'm not going to try and talk anyone out of their faith. I wholly respect everyone in what they believe in. Most of my best friends are very religious, and I've even gone to church a couple times with my friend Kevin. And I don't go because I believe the same thing he does. I do it because I like the atmosphere. The people are nice. It's good enough reason for me. And I like some of their songs. They're cute. But I don't go because of the reason that he goes. I go for mine, and he goes for his. But again, I just kind of feel like black and white terms for adults, as opposed to religion for society now, or like in comparison to religious society for now, are just really, it kind of shows that we're holding ourselves back from becoming what we can really be. An adult should be able to discern right and wrong based on situations and perspective. Just like I feel like society should understand that religion was necessary at its time, and has now really should be integrated in a way where we can show ourselves that we understand structure, we understand balance. We don't need for it to be read to us or taught to us by, yesteryear. I probably could have worded that better, but I think you understand where I'm going with this. So my comparison there, I have to kind of wrap this up. And like I said, this is probably something, after I work out the kinks or whatever, I can put in a formal essay. But that's my general comparison right there. And so I just sort of feel like a grown-up adult, society should be able to just see reality and work with it and understand that it can't be explained with, simple terms, because it isn't. And, of course, simple itself is also an arguable thing, perspective-based, whatever. But it's not black and white. And I think that'll be this one for now. I I'd love questions and insight on this. So hopefully I'll get some input and comments, and I'll love to respond.